back to Zodiac Wars. We're going to talk about the compatibility of the Cancer woman and the Scorpio man. I absolutely love this couple together. They have a ton of chemistry. They're both water elements, so they kind of gravitate towards each other. It's like water crashing against water, creating this miraculous wave that we all just look and, oh, like, wow, it's so beautiful, aren't they? They're just a beautiful couple. They do have a lot in common, but there are some pros and cons, as there are with many relationship combinations, no matter how modern day astrology tries to tell you that they are super compatible. There are some personality clashes, okay? So first of all, we're going to go with the compatibility. Now, on the sex scale, these two are about a 9.5 out of 10, almost close to 10. They are very compatible sexually. They basically gravitate towards each other. They can't keep their hands off of one another, and they're doing it everywhere and every place that they can, okay? The Scorpio man will bring out more of the Cancer woman's hidden sexual desires as the Scorpio man plays on the woman's subconscious mind, bringing to her consciousness things she never knew she had in her subconscious. That is the exciting part about being with a Scorpio man, which I absolutely love and am addicted to. I love that quality in Scorpio men. So the Cancer woman is going to find that very fascinating, that he can pull these hidden things out of her subconscious, bring them into the light, play on that sexually, play on that mentally and emotionally, okay? However, there are some things that the Cancer woman wants to keep hidden and wants to keep bottled up, okay? She doesn't want to let everything out. And the Scorpio man doesn't care. He doesn't care about those boundaries. He's going to pull out whatever he can because he can use that as power, control, and leverage in the future. So that's where the clashing comes in, where she is a cardinal sign and he is a fixed sign. So both of these are two stubborn signs. Cardinal signs, just because they're cardinal and they're natural born leaders, does not mean that they're not stubborn. In fact, they're just as stubborn as the fixed signs are Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, and Leo, okay? They're just as hard-headed as them. And because of that, we'll have two alpha personalities kind of clashing. The Cancer woman does know how to step back and play her part as the divine feminine. She definitely knows how to do that. She is good at acting. So even though she is in control, like most cardinal signs, they will let you feel like you're in control. Because they're natural born leaders, they will delegate tasks to you, and that'll make you feel like you have a say-so, or even that you are leading, when in fact, behind the scenes, they're leading. And Scorpio likes to do the same thing because they're water fixed and they play on the subconscious. They like to secretly control things behind the scenes. I mean, the very toxic Scorpios will control things in your face and be very possessive outwardly. But the really evolved, smart Scorpio still has that possessiveness and controlling attitude towards their lovers, but they know how to control it and disguise it, okay? And even they know how to cut it off when it's getting too much, okay? That's the Phoenix Scorpio. But nonetheless, they still have that quality. And then the Cancer is intuitive and very psychic, and she's going to realize sooner rather than later that is the Scorpio is trying to do the same thing to her. So there's like an undercover power dynamic with them that's actually fascinating to watch, that I think actually eggs them both on and keeps them attracted towards each other, because it's kind of like a battle of who's gonna win. The Cancer woman will surrender and give up from time to time and relinquish that control so that she can focus on other leadership things she has going on, whether that's a business, whether that's other entrepreneurial ventures that she's doing, or just other things she's prioritizing. So she is very good at delegating and compartmentalizing those things and letting the Scorpio lead those things. So they can have a very mutual, equal give and take relationship between the two, which is a really great thing because that's very hard to find. So that is why they stay together so long. Tia Mowry and her husband, who are now getting a divorce, as we all know, very sad. They've been together for 14 years. Tia is a Cancer and her husband is a Scorpio. And when she met him, I guess he had just moved to California. He was kind of like living out of his car. He didn't have much, but there was something about him. There was some promise in him that she saw. Maybe she saw that he was a good man. He'd be a good partner and a good husband, because she is intuitive. And she wanted those qualities above money and status because she already had that. So Cancer woman will date down financially because she's a boss and she doesn't really care about that financial aspect of the relationship as much as other women do, because typically she's already got her shit together. You know what I'm saying? Most cardinal signs do. So she will take him in for the qualities that she needs because she's very good at that. Whereas other women who aren't Cancer women, like me, Aquarius, we want the whole thing, not intelligently delegating what we already have and what we don't have so that we can find what we don't have in a partner to make a good partnership. I have my weaknesses, but where I have my weaknesses, they have their strengths. Cancer women just know this, and that's where they have the competitive advantage in dating. So she picked him for reasons to do more with his character, which is a very good thing. And for some reason, though, it didn't work out after 14 years, but that was a good ass run. 14 years of marriage at her age. You know, she's in her early 40s, so with this generation, marriages typically don't last more than 5 to 6 years, and hers outpaced most of the average marriages in this generation. So for that, I give them a round of applause, you guys. Give them a round of applause, okay? And that is what the Cancer woman and Scorpio man can do. They could definitely persevere and create a lifelong marriage. Yes, there will be ups and downs, but with their mutual give and take, that understanding that they both already have, they're going to last very long. Now, the Cancer woman, that's like Tia, who is constantly dancing on social media. She's doing all these TikToks of her dancing with different outfits on, saying it's her time now and she's about to shine, you know, which is a bit annoying to me as an Aquarius. I just think, why are you celebrating divorce of a 14-year marriage? I mean, you shouldn't be depressed and sad about it either, but I mean, do you really have to do all that? I feel like she's just having a midlife crisis. So she lost a lot of weight. She looks amazing. She looks incredible. She's glowing. She seems very happy, but it does seem like she's trying very hard to show that she's happier now that she's getting divorced, which to me is a very water sign thing to do. Like, water signs to me go out of their way to do stuff to make them appear a certain way, and it's phony and it's fake, and I personally can't stand it as an air sign. And then the Scorpio also can't stand it, even though he does that too. When someone does it to him, it's like he can dish it, but he can't take it. So he really, really hates that about her. And I promise you right now that this show that she's putting on is just, he's losing all respect for her. I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I know that in some of the interviews that they had together, she was cutting him off while he was talking. I think at times he may have felt emasculated because of Tia Mari's status in the world. She's a child star. She's very successful. For a Scorpio man who is mainly alpha, but in a sensitive way, is kind of weird. He probably is going to have an issue with that only if it's thrown in his face. I think Scorpio men can deal with a woman who has a higher income and higher status than him better than most men can. But when it starts to get thrown in his face or used to put him down, he's not going to take that. He's not going to handle that well at all. So that's where I think they got into some disputes, and he may have retaliated and became abusive as well. And then they had this toxic dynamic going on between the two. Now, that's the bad part. When the toxic dynamic starts, it never ends with these two. You have two petty water signs who are over emotional, who are going to go hit below the belt any way that they can. It's going to be mentally, emotionally, physically. They're going to compete and go toe-to-toe on who can be the most toxic or hurtful. And that's the downfall, ultimately, of these two. If they let that, they could either be really great together or really horrible together. That's the power that the Cancer woman and the Scorpio man has. The Scorpio man will not stand for emasculation. He only will take that for a certain amount of time, but he will accept it longer than the average man will, because Scorpio men, when they are Phoenix, they are very patient and they will work through things. They don't care how many years it takes. That perseverance with Scorpios is unmatched. They are in it for the long run, and so is the Cancer woman, which is why they lasted 14 years. I mean, I'm sad that it ended, but that's a great resume. A 14-year marriage, you know, for me, I'd date you any day. If you can be together and work through things in a decade and a half, you've been through hell and back together. Okay, you've been through heaven, hell, everything. They've experienced everything together. And to them, I give, like I said, the most respect to that union, even though it has failed. So that is the power that you have. If you're a Cancer woman dealing with a Scorpio man, and you guys are both in your light, you guys can be firecrackers together. I mean, sexually, mentally, the communication is going to be on point. You guys are going to know when to talk to each other, when to stop talking to each other. Scorpios need space, and so do Cancers, okay? So you guys are going to automatically give each other that space that you need. In times of conflict, you're going to take the calmer and more ethical and logical approach, okay? And then if the Cancer woman is a little emotional or a little out of control, the Scorpio man knows how to handle that. Unlike most men, Scorpio men don't get really intimidated by women's emotions. They let the woman be emotional. And that is a great thing, because the Cancer woman needs for her man to let her be emotional and let her fully express those emotions without judging her. She does not want to be judged for being emotional. And the Scorpio man won't do that, but he will do that if they're going toe to toe and being toxic together. Okay, so if you are in this union, you can make it work and you can make it last really forever. You are very compatible. On the sex, I give you a 9.5. Communication, I give you a 9. As far as a long-term relationship, I give you a 9. As far as a marriage goes, I definitely give you a 9. Your conflict style, I give you an 8. So you guys are way up there. Congratulations if you're in this union. Let me know what you think about Cancer woman, Scorpio man below. Make sure you guys like and comment and subscribe. Thanks for listening. She knows
I'm with her. Mm-hmm. And that's just, everything's not perfect. Marriage is work.
And that's...
Marriage is work. I'm not here. Let me finish.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm not going to be here and everything is raw.